Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Andrew Stute watching it remind me, he wanted me to ask Jabari, but I don't think the football guys care as much about this as what a guy like you might.
Okay.
He says, what are your thoughts on the CFL showing games on YTV like the NFL does with Nickelodeon? Now, he might because he's got kids himself, and I'll get to that in a moment. But the thing that's sticking in my craw somewhat, and I don't really care, but is the 4-down thing and how upset people are getting. And it jarred in my mind because Jeff, the Stamps fan, says this is day 4 of the Alex Singleton watch. And I'm like, are you watching to see which NFL team he signs with or praying that he comes back to Calgary, which they probably are. But I saw Alex retweet with a no with regards to the 4-down thing.
Yeah.
Buddy, when they went to 3-on-3 overtime in the NHL or shootouts, do you remember this degree of furor?
I know.
From hockey fans? I'm never watching again if they go to a shootout. Those pricks.
It's not hockey. It's not hockey.
No, I'm really? Really?
Yeah.
This is really affecting your life to the degree that it is, that you'll burn up your season tickets and you want Randy Ambrosie fired and you're saying all these horrible things about the people that run the league when they're really just trying to save it. I remember mild grumbling. I had an opinion on shootouts and 3-on-3. I did, believe me, but I didn't lose any sleep over it. And there are people that are just coming unhinged, triggered, 4 downs. My God, I wish the problems in my life were so small that would get me that upset.
I know.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show. Right now.
Realizing I watched a lot of television with the youngsters back in the day.
How about that?
I'll say it again. That cab driver in Bucharrillos, Mexico, when he said, Señor, your Español's mucho bueno. Why is that? I said, Dora the Explorer. That's right. I learned so much Spanish.
I got to brush up on my Spanish, though.
Yes, you do. ¿Cómo estás? Una más, por favor.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Everybody, we are here for a good time, not necessarily a long time, but 2 hours of your favorite sports talk is at hand with the RP Show, episode number 1388, coming at you live here on the Game Plus Television Network and also streaming on YouTube and, of course, wherever you enjoy your podcast. Happy Thanksgiving to all those that observe. It's U.S. Thanksgiving weekend. I am in the Florida studio. Moose is in the Toronto studio. He's there, propped up and ready to go. Moose, just tell the folks what your sports menu is today, if you don't mind. It's interesting.
Yeah. You know, there's an NHL game going to start in an hour, Philly in New York. Hopefully I'll watch a little of that. And starting right away, either at 12 or 12:30 Eastern, it was on over my shoulder. Colorado Buffaloes are in action. A little NCAA afternoon game on this Black Friday. And then NFL this afternoon.
Yeah, and there is, it is a football Friday. We got college stuff to get to. We got NFL, CFL stuff to get to. Our guests are Jim Barker, CFL on TSN. He's coming up in the very next segment. And then Takoby Cofield. Look him up if you don't know. Former Washington Redskins, Seattle Seahawks, Oakland Raiders, and 4 seasons with the Rough Riders. He's been with the Edmonton Elks of the CFL as an assistant coach here recently. We crossed paths just 1 season with Saskatchewan, but you know how you just... Namaste. The light in me recognizes the light in you. We just clicked, and Takoby just said, hey, Rod, I've been following what you're doing. You mind if I get on your show and kind of talk about some things I'm doing? I'm like, yeah, I think that would be a fantastic thing, Takoby. So the pride of Tarboro, North Carolina is going to be on in hour 2 to talk ball and a little of the exciting things that are going on in his life. And I appreciate him. I barely know that guy. 1 season we were together in Saskatchewan. My last, his first, and I don't know. We just clicked. I love it. Can you hit the quick 6 show horn, please, to our director, whoever it is today? Please and thank you. Who is it, Clark? Who's the director today? Just so I know. Bryce is in today. Okay, thank you. So, Moose, we're going to look back for a second to Turkey Day, in the National Football League. Well, all over North America or America, it's Turkey Day. The Miami Dolphins continue to struggle in cold weather. Their 3-game win streak's over after a 30-17 loss in Green Bay last night. The Dolphins haven't won a game with a kickoff temperature of 4 degrees Celsius or less since 2016. Meanwhile, Packers quarterback Jordan Love threw 2 touchdown passes to Jaden Reed. In Dallas, the Cowboys finally have a home win. Rico Dowdle ran for a touchdown in his first career 100-yard game to help the Cowboys beat the New York Giants 27-20. And it's another chicken sandwich I won off Chris from the Bronx. And poor clock management proved costly for the Chicago Bears. They were in Detroit territory in the final minute of the first game, but they didn't use their final timeout. Time ran out, and the clock ran out with the Lions up 23-20. They won it, giving Detroit its 10th victory in a row. The Bears have lost 6 straight. I'd like your take on this. While the Bears flubbed it, there's no two ways about it. You can blame the coach, Matt Eberfluss. You can blame the quarterback, Caleb Williams. Your thoughts on this, Darren? There was a phantom pass interference call that instead of them turning it over on downs, they ended up getting a first down. If that very ticky-tack, as the football people say, flag wasn't thrown, the game ends, and we're not having this discussion, A. B, if they do use the clock properly, get their timeout in, kick a field goal, tie the game, and go to overtime, they could have still lost. So I feel like that error, like, for instance, my sponsor, Bob, you know him, big football guy, he's texting me after the game, and he's like, are they going to fire the coaching staff in Chicago Friday morning? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe. Nothing would surprise me in this perilous trade anymore. But I feel like they're making a far more bigger deal out of it than they should have. How about you?
Yeah, you made a great point about saying they still have to go to overtime. They still have to beat the number 1 team in the National Football League in overtime, which isn't an easy thing to do. Now, Caleb Williams and the Bears had a great second half and put all those points on the board, 20 points all in the second half. But, you're right. And I put most of this on the coach. I mean, you got a rookie quarterback in there. There's a lot going on. It's a lot to ask of a rookie quarterback to be poised and composed in that situation. He needs to grow from it and continue to be better, but that's a tough spot. And when you have over 30 seconds, you probably need to run 4 or 5 plays in 30 seconds, not one, and let the clock run out. But all this online of, lost him the game. No. It lost him a chance to get to overtime. That's really all that it did. And yeah, they might have won, but that's a tough one. And when it comes to firing the coach, you got to see, like, Eberflus has done some nice things with Caleb Williams. Like, he's had a pretty good year. The wins haven't been there. The clock management, all the rest at the end of games is devastating. But you have to decide, is this the right coach that's best for the development of the quarterback long term? It might be.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that can wear the goat horns in this, and I think firing the coaches would be, the fans want to do it. And again, Bob, my sponsor, is a very well-reasoned guy, very successful businessman. So I don't know. It's up to the Bears coaches, I guess. The Bears owners, whether they want to fire a coach over this. But as you just said, a rookie quarterback, mistakes happen. Coach didn't get the timeout in time. They're a rebuilding team. It's just typical Bears. Bears doing Bears things. Now, you mentioned you're going to be watching NFL this afternoon. To point two, the Kansas City Chiefs are home to the Las Vegas Raiders this afternoon as Week 13 of the NFL season continues on Black Friday. The defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs enter the game at 10-1, just behind 11-1 Detroit for number 1 overall in the NFL, while the Raiders are 2-9 and have lost 7 straight. God bless you, Moose, for wanting to watch this. It shouldn't be close. I don't have the point spread down. Oh, I do. 12.5. The Chiefs are favored by 12.5. You know what? For the betting people, for the degenerate gambler, give me a little tip here. You said you'd like to stay away from the whopping point spread. And I don't really understand that. I mean, we just play our sport betting. I don't put money on it ever. But would it not be far more dangerous to look at these games it's a 1-point spread, like the Chargers at the Falcons, the Seahawks at the Jets? It's all 1 point. That seems like far more dicey to me than a 12.5-point spread that the Chiefs are favored over the Raiders against today.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about the money lines. You got to win by 13 points if you're the Chiefs. And one thing I don't like about the point spread, like, I probably will go on the side of the Raiders in this game in terms of the spread. The Chiefs typically don't blow teams out when they win. They're typically closer games. And then you never know. It's so unpredictable what a team's going to do when they get up in a game. Like I saw Georgia NCAA in the weekend or whenever it was, had a 42.5-point spread. And it's like, I get it. You're going to like knock this team around and it shouldn't be close. But when you get up, you don't know what people are going to do. Put in the backups, take your foot off the gas, run the ball, throw it away, all these different things. Like you're not necessarily looking to pad stats. So it's just so unpredictable when you have a big point spread on what's going to happen.
Yep. Our next guest, Jim Barker, may or may not be watching right now, but he's a football guy whereby the coaches don't get into this kind of stuff. But what I will tell you is it's what's taken the leagues from here to here for interest amongst the fans is what Darren just explained and why they're keeping them watching right to the very end instead of people like me that turn the television off at the end of the third quarter. I can't turn this off. I got money riding on it. Been a great thing for the game, even though a lot of people don't think that it is. By the way, the poll question today, let me say this for our friends at EMJ Marketing. They will provide the perfect keynote speaker for your event. Go to their website, emjmarketing.com, to peruse the roster. Look up Joe to have, again, transform your event with the best speakers in the game. The poll question is, who is the best team in the NFL right now? I'm saying Detroit. Have all year. I'm saying it's going to be a Detroit, Kansas City Super Bowl in New Orleans. So obviously I think Kansas City's up there, and we've got the Bills in there and other. But I feel like you're falling off the Chiefs wagon. Am I right on that?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm on the Detroit Lions bandwagon too, and I think they're the best team in football right now, despite, almost blowing that lead yesterday on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's a different animal for Detroit. Like they are knocking the monkey off the back and starting to shed that perennial failure at Thanksgiving, which is good. But I think they're top to bottom best team in the league. They got the defense is good. Their offense is world class. Yeah, they're number one.
Vote on our poll, and if you don't think it's one of Detroit, Kansas City, or Buffalo is the best team in the NFL, you think it's other, we'll take the write-in ballot. Speaking of ballots, did you see the party that went on 23 miles up the road from me at Mar-a-Lago last night? Trump, Elon Musk, Sylvester Stallone. Did you see any of the video of that? They're all dancing to YMCA. I actually went by Mar-a-Lago and asked if I could get a day pass in there. The lady, she laughed at me. She was like, no, you can't. Okay. $200,000 a year for a membership to Mar-a-Lago. They don't do day passes, Moose. It's not Disney World. Although it seemed like it last night. Hour one's brought to you by Culligan. Drink.
You're not going to the pool for $40?
No. It's not all you can drink hurricanes at the bar. Drink clean, live green, filter your water for a healthier tomorrow. Culligan Water of Regina. Visit CulliganRegina.com. And yes, we do talk about Saskatchewan sports on occasion. Regina sports. Culligan Regina brings you the program. As I dip into the text line here at 902-518-3033, Max in Toronto writes in. He says, I love tuning in and hearing about the Canadian Football League, junior hockey, and occasionally curling. I can't get that on any other sports talk show. And I appreciate that because we do talk about those things on occasion. But the main items are NHL, CFL, NFL. The guy wrote in here, Rennie, and I think it's pretty cool that he did. He's a new viewer. He's like, I hope you're talking about the PWHL on Friday. Yeah, don't hold your breath, bro. Like, think of it like this. Like I work at McDonald's. That's what it looks like, right? I got my Chiefs colors on today, courtesy the Whole Life brand, Florida clothing brand that does all these clothes for me. Imagine walking into McDonald's and saying, God, I hope you do a roast beef sandwich on Friday. That'd be awesome if you did a roast beef. You know what they would say at McDonald's? Go to Arby's. They're down the street. Okay? We have our menu. We have our things. If that does not interest you, there's the door. So casual interest in the PWHL, we'll probably put it in my sports update, but we're not going to sit here and talk about it. It's not what we do. We're the McDonald's of sports talk, not necessarily the Golden Corral, certainly not on Fridays. Brent writes in, Moose, he is in North Battleford, which, by the way, Elon Musk's mom is from North Battleford. I bring that up all the time. It's going to be in my 10 Things column this weekend. The richest man in the world, his mom is from North Battleford, as is Brett Wilson, as is Wade Belak, as are Robin Silvernagel. What are they doing in North Battleford, man? And Brent.
In the water.
Who who writes in, he says, hey, Rod, I love those colors, man. I was wearing Dolphins gear yesterday. He says, by the way, go Fins. Break the curse of the cold weather. Take that, Darren. And then it didn't happen last night as they lost. It wasn't even a cold weather game, but I can't even begin to tell you how upset they are here in South Florida that the Dolphins, they are who we thought they were. If you can't win come playoff time, what's the point? Point 3, after a break for Thanksgiving in the U.S., the NHL and NBA are back in action today. On the ice, Calgary visits Columbus this afternoon. Vancouver is at Buffalo. Tonight, Winnipeg is at Vegas. And Edmonton visits Utah. We'll be playing NHL breakaway bets next hour. In the NBA, the Toronto Raptors are in Miami. I, for 0.75 seconds, thought about going to the game. I went last year when the Raptors are here. But we're going to be up bright and early and hitting the road tomorrow. And it's a whole rigmarole to get down to a Heat game. Trust me, it is, Moose. So what do Jim Harbaugh and I have in common? You know the answer to this.
I don't know, Rod.
What do they have in common?
Oh, I do. Okay.
Go ahead.
I didn't know if you want me to play along. You're both going to be in Atlanta this weekend.
That's what Jim Harbaugh and I have in common. We're both going to be in Atlanta this weekend. And Serena's very excited that they have not a Dairy Queen, Tim Hortons in Atlanta. We're going to be checking it out. What was that comment, Clark, you just put up on the screen? Who was that? So it seemed like a new viewer, if I may. Oh, Howard Garton writes, and he says, Ruben Mays, also from North Battleford. I know, those were just the ones that came to my mind. It's quite the place, North Battleford. You and I had a great time there. Broadcast in the SJ Finals. That's the other thing, everybody. Y'all think that I came to Florida, Moose went to Toronto. We don't think about the junior A stuff. We did all those. We've done all those things. We're doing new things. Doesn't mean we don't love those things. So get over it, which is, I left here yesterday. I never thought about that guy that tried to spoil my party yesterday by saying, you think you're too good for junior hockey in the CFL. That's what's wrong with you. I'm not going to allow him to spoil my mood today. Guy, it's a you problem, not a me problem. Don't give me crime stats on North Battleford, okay? Because you know what? I can find numbers about your town, too. We have less than a minute. CFL notes, college football for the weekend. We'll get to that next hour. Do you have anything in your mind, CFL-wise? The free agent lists have come out. The league put those out. Anything on your mind, CFL-wise, before we break and bring in Jim Barker? Well, we'll get to a lot of CFL. What do you got?
That's where my mind goes. My mind goes to the free agent list, and it seems like this is going to be a really exciting list, more than ever, with so many big names and award winners and Grey Cup champions all over, littered throughout the top of the free agent pool. So for me, I'm going to sit back, enjoy the holidays, all the rest. But come, middle to end of January, it's going to start heating up when it comes to CFL free agency talk.
I want to answer this before we go to break. I don't want to make him wait. John Ohm says, Rod, how was Ruth's Chris last night? It was amazing. It was their special turkey dinner. Serena and I were the youngest people by at least 30 years in the place. We're in Boca Raton, Florida. The turkey was amazing. Later in the night, the turkey hit me. And all through the night, Darren, and we woke up this morning and Serena's like, how come you didn't come to bed last night? I said, I slept in the spare room because, the turkey was affecting me. She's like, oh, thanks. I mean, it was great, but that comes with it. And I didn't want to subject her to that. It was an amazing dinner, and they sent us home with more dinners. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for asking. And Ruth's Chris also acknowledged us because we go there every year. That was really nice of them to do. They said, we're very thankful for people like you, guests like you. Everybody's happy. So let's keep it that way. See you in hour 2, Moose.
Later.
It's Football Black Friday here on the Game Plus Television Network, streaming live on YouTube, and, of course, podcasting wherever the best podcasts are found.
sounds like he knows what he's doing a little bit.
As long as you're entertained. Aren't you entertained?
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
RP Show continues on Football Black Friday. As sports fans, there's nothing we love more than a comeback. In the game against wrinkles, scars, and acne, it's never too late to revitalize your skin with Alum Naturals. I appreciate all those that have checked them out and used the promo code RP20 for 20% off your first order at alutera.com. Apparently, a lot of you have, so thank you. Very excited, as always, to bring in Jim Barker. And before we get to, Coach, to our specific CFL-related questions, I'm kind of interested in where your focus is right now with NFL Week 13, college football playoffs nigh, a couple of weeks away, and then CFL free agency and the coaching carousel. What's got your attention the most right now?
I'm kind of all over the yard. I mean, I'm anxious to watch Colorado today. I think that'll be Oklahoma State. I don't know why they're so bad, but so I'm into college football. The NFL, obviously. I mean, anytime on Thanksgiving you watch a coach absolutely kick the can like the Bears guy did yesterday. I mean, that it just blows my mind that I see it. On Thanksgiving Day, you just don't. I don't know. It was, and on John Madden Day, you put it all together and it was just wrong. And then obviously the Giants came out and played like the Giants, and again, I'm not sure what exactly they're trying to do there, and so I'm watching the NFL but also following very closely the CFL, and some of the shenanigans and bizarre things going on with front office and coaching and all those kinds of things that go on this time of the year, just prior to the first of the year.
Well, you know what? I'm going to get to that, and I'm glad you brought that up. But for those, NFL is front and center. And from the Wire copy here, poor clock management proved costly for the Chicago Bears on Thanksgiving Day. They were in Detroit territory in the final minute, but didn't use their final timeout. The clock ran out. Lions won 23-20, giving Detroit their 10th victory in a row. How did Matt Eberflus, the Bears coach, flub that from your perspective?
I don't know if maybe the play that happened just before it got to 32 seconds, watching his left tackle absolutely stand there and let a guy go drill Caleb Williams for a loss that took him out of field goal range. My guess is it shook him. It's like, what was that? How can that happen? He didn't even slow the guy up, and they have 32 seconds left. If they were in field goal range, they could have. Again, they had a timeout, but if they were going to try to kick a field goal without a timeout, they would have needed to have 17 or 18 seconds is the normal time that we give for running a team on and kicking a field goal to win. So with 30 seconds left, they could have done that. They had the timeout. Why Eberflus? Once it got to 10 seconds, I mean, take a timeout. Say, okay, Caleb, you got to get rid of the ball quick. You can't hold it expecting to get a touchdown. Just get the ball on an outcut. Get us another 7-8 yards to make this field goal possible so that we could go to overtime. I thought that's where he kind of dropped the ball. Again, Caleb Williams is a young quarterback. 32 seconds left. He's got to get up on the ball and ideally snap the ball within 10 seconds. You know, I'm sure you're getting the call from upstairs at the time, but he's moving people around and taking his time and looking at the defense and acting like a rookie quarterback, which I guess he is, and hopefully he'll learn from that. But it was just, I mean, the Lions, I thought, played great early and then just kind of slept their way through the second half and kept the Bears in it. And then Caleb Williams, he's a talented dude now. I mean, he can throw the ball, and he made a couple of phenomenal throws to get them back into the game. But again, they had a pass interference call that wasn't pass interference that got him down there. And
exactly,
you know, so maybe that was karma and the gods saying, you know what, we're not going to let the referees do this. So you're going to just botch up this final minute. You're going to go to the locker room at the end of the game. You're going to have that timeout in your pocket and feel good about you could have called a timeout. I don't know.
They should have turned it over.
Me away.
Yeah, it was a turnover on downs, all those things. But they don't call them mistakes anymore, Jim. As you know, they call them teachable moments. So the Bears had a lot coming out of that. Okay, so to the CFL, I don't know where you want to start. Could the fact that Cody Fajardo's been shown the door in Montreal? Okay, with what's going on in Montreal, can you play? Davis Alexander has signed a 3-year extension. He's gone from backup to the face of the franchise real fast, and Cody Fajardo's deciding what he's going to do about it.
Yeah, and you know, again, this is a big move, and there's a big difference between going in as Davis Alexander, the backup to Cody Fajardo, and going in as Davis Alexander, the face of the franchise for the next 10 years, I think Danny Machocha called him. And, you know, he's 26 years old. He's shown signs that he can be the guy, but he hasn't shown he can be the guy. I mean, he played well for 4 games. That's less than what Zach Collaros did when Kent Austin basically cut Henry Burris to bring him in as a starter. So, again, these are tough decisions, and I admire Danny for making it. They went out on a limb, and they made it, and is it right? Is it wrong? Nobody's going to know right away. For Cody, I don't know why I have this feeling he's going to retire, that he's just not going to go be a backup somewhere. He might stay there and be a backup. And eventually go into coaching because he's that type. He's got that coaching type of thought process and that type of thing. But Yeah, that's a tough situation. Very tough for Danny Machocha and Jason Moss because of all Cody did. I mean, he took them and won a Grey Cup. And is that a tough? It's absolutely tough. They would have lost Davis Alexander. Somebody would have given him an opportunity, I believe. I'm not sure who, because right now everything's kind of moved around. But again, credit to them for making the decision. I hope for their sake it's the right one. Because if it's not, it'll come back to get him in a hurry. What happens with Cody? You would know better than anybody because you're as close to Cody as anybody. And again, I don't know why I have this feeling that he's gonna retire, but I just got this feeling that he's not gonna go be a backup somewhere and go through that.
Yeah, well, you know what it's like. Money, he doesn't need the money. They just had their second baby. Sometimes you get kicked around enough. It's like, you know what? I'm good. But like you say, he's got a lot to pass on. He's got the work ethic. He'll be fine. Wait for the smoke to clear and not make any rash decisions now, like maybe trading Vernon Adams to the Calgary Stampeders. What does that do to the CFL West? What a bomb that was that went off this week.
Well, again, it didn't surprise me because of Bo Baldwin being there, and they didn't actually get as much for him as I thought they might. They did not get a first-round draft pick. They had some exchange of picks and that type of thing. I think they maybe were worried about him going to Edmonton with Rick Campbell, and to nip that at the bud, they went ahead and traded him before that happened. For Calgary, it's an interesting signing because Vernon's very different from the quarterbacks they've had. You probably go back to Henry Burris. My first guy I signed as a GM in 2005 was Henry Burris. And he's the same type of quarterback as Vernon, runs very well, can move around, has a strong arm, does all those kinds of things. But the quarterbacks they've been playing with have been more the Dave Dickinson, Bo Levi Mitchell, Jake Mayer. Those guys have been the type of quarterback and the system they've been in. So, there's going to be a minor change, I'm guessing, in their system. It's good for Vernon because he's going to get a team. He's going to have PJ Walker there, who, again, I think it's good for PJ Walker because if he can have the patience to learn and watch Vernon and the things he does, Vernon's contract is steep, and it's going to be interesting. But I think what it does is now Calgary is a completely different deal. Who knows what's going to happen in Edmonton? I mean, we don't know. Is it going to be McLeod Bethel Thompson? They have to hire a coach first? And I hear that could be anybody from Rick Campbell, who everybody's saying, to Mark Killam, who I think is a dark horse for that people aren't talking a lot about, but I think he's a guy who's very involved. He's from there. He went to school at University of Alberta, and he's a little bit like the Davis Alexander versus Cody Fajardo. Rick Campbell's been in it a long time. You know what you're getting in terms of everything. With Mark Killam, you don't know. Are you getting Dan Campbell? I mean, you just don't know. So that wouldn't shock me to see Mark Killam get that job. So you get fired in Calgary and then potentially get hired as a head coach in the league, which would be pretty amazing. So again, the CFL, Rod, I just got to say that it's, when you look at what's going on, okay, so the three finalists in Hamilton are Ted Govaya and Geroy Simon and Kyle Carson from Saskatchewan. Those are the three finalists interviewing this weekend. This is all stuff, you just hear. I mean, I haven't talked to anybody in Hamilton, but that's what I'm hearing is the final three. And Hamilton has hired Wally Buono, who the last time a team hired Wally Buono was Edmonton, and they blew the whole thing up, not even 3 years in, fired everybody. So Wally Buono's helping again. Now, Geroy Simon ended up there. If Geroy Simon was to get that job, you'd basically have two of the three teams that didn't make the playoffs swapping front offices, with Geroy going to Hamilton and then Ed Hervey and potentially some of their guys they had there, Spencer Zimmerman and such, going to Edmonton. So it could be, I mean, that to me is just fascinating that three teams don't make the playoffs and two of them could be swapping front offices. So it's, again, I would expect Ted Govaya is going to be a leading guy in Hamilton, but, you don't know. Getting that first GM job can always be tough.
Yeah, well, I think we'd like to see new blood. The rotating carousel of this is fascinating is one word for it, but I'd like to see some new people, But, I feel like you have an affinity or affection for Calgary because you spent so much time there. I wonder if what your take is, and my last question here, on the former players saying they're a franchise in decline. Has that changed with the Vernon Adams acquisition, do you think? You go along? You've seen the comments, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's, again, they have problems beyond their quarterback situation. I mean, the facilities, they need a new state. When I was there, when I left basically in 2009, and they had just built offices and things, but the basic locker room area, the stadium is just, it's old and dated. And they have Huff has, he runs it very tight. He's not a believer in paying free agents. That's just not, I mean, they don't go out and get free agents. They find their own guys. And he's been that way, for a long time. And what happens is you lose a lot of core players. I mean, I think you saw Ryan Dinwiddie this week say Wynton McManus is as important a guy for them to sign as anybody because he's a core player. Now, are they going to overpay him? They absolutely are going to overpay him. Every team in the league is going to say, I can't believe they're paying him that. But he is that important to that franchise. And you have those kind of players that keep everything together. And I think Calgary has maybe not recognized that lately. And I think a lot of those players that have moved on and said, they just let our good guys go, the guys that are important. And that's more important than, trying to keep those guys there. That's what I'm guessing it is. Again, Dave has been there now for a few years. And is he getting stale? He's now the GM, which you know how I feel about head coach GM and how everything changes then because and that goes to Don Matthews, why he never was a GM. He said, as soon as I'm the one who they think is deciding how much they're making, I'm not one of them anymore. I'm not part of the locker room. I'm now part of the front office. And he always felt that was a real detriment, that you needed to have that separation. And, so it's I don't know that a lot of these guys that are doing that understand that you have to maintain that separation. So, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I feel like we've covered it all here, man. This has been fantastic. I'll say happy Thanksgiving to you, Jim. And enjoy the football this weekend. We'll talk to you in a week.
Oh, well, thanks, Rod.
The CFL on TSN's Jim Barker. So we'll unpack all of that when we come back in a sports update 2 viewer takeover. Takoby Cofield, former Redskins Seahawk, Rough Rider, El Camo. He's coming up in hour 2 at his request. I can't wait. We'll be back here briefly after this pause on Game Plus Television, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, of course, and podcasting wherever the best podcasts are found.
Skate into the holiday season with the Stars. Stars on Ice 2024 Holiday Tour. With figure skating icon Elvis Stoyko, Olympic medalist Caitlin Osman, Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poget, Keegan Messing, Satoko Miyahara, and more. Stars on Ice. Coming to Moose Jaw Event Center December 20th. Unwrap your tickets at starsonice.ca.
Hi, my name is Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
Mo.
The moustache is calling. Raise funds, save lives. Donate at Movember.com.
From cash spiels to grand slams, club competitions to world championships, there's a lot to keep up with on the pebbled ice. Stay up to date with the Hardline Curling Show, your weekly source for everything curling, with the latest event results, breaking news, interviews with players, executives, and insiders, plus behind-the-scenes access you won't get anywhere else. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you don't miss a thing.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Hey, Hayes for horses. Welcome back to the RP Show, everybody. Just a reminder to dip into overtime hockey lanes in Calgary this weekend. Why not? What else you got to do? Hockey weather's here. Baseball has batting cages. Golf has driving ranges. Why wouldn't hockey have shooting lanes? Well, they do in Calgary. See, I got my Flames colors on today. 28th Street, Northeast Calgary. Drop in and say hey to Randy and Michelle. Tell them the RP Show sent you. They'll give you a good seat in the bathroom. They also have a licensed bar in there as well. So go check it out. Okay, how about this? Not surprised. Again, nothing surprises me anymore. A day after the Bears, breaking news, a day after the Bears suffered their 6th straight loss, Chicago has fired head coach Matt Eberflus. Sources tell ESPN. Offensive coordinator Thomas Brown will take over on an interim basis, sources added. Eberflus came under intense scrutiny after running out the clock in the final 32 seconds despite having one timeout remaining in Detroit on Thursday. Quarterback Caleb Williams was sacked for a 6-yard loss on a called run play, and the Bears did not get the ball snapped for another play until 6 seconds remained. The loss dropped the Bears to 4-8. Eberflus was 5-19 in one-score games, the worst record by any coach with at least 20 one-score games in NFL history. Now, let's just examine that for 1 second, okay? What did Coach Barker say? They got a rookie quarterback in there, Caleb Williams, the number 1 overall pick. This just goes to, just because they fired him doesn't mean they did the right thing. Let's just sit here for a second and look at Nashville and the Predators, who are, the last I looked, the second worst team in the NHL. And we're all sitting here going, how come Barry Trotz hasn't fired Andrew Burnett yet? despite all these close losses the Predators have had. Apples and oranges, yes. Coaching fraternity, also yes. Teaching moments, sure. They didn't get the playoff. Who's responsible for calling the timeout? What it was, in my mind, the Bears weren't prepared for a situation like that. And whose responsibility is it to prepare them? The head coach, Matt Eberflus, he's gone. But I'll tell you what, when my sponsor, Bob, was texting me last night saying, are they going to fire Eberflus tomorrow? I'm like, well, God, I wouldn't think so. And then they did. It's just so volatile. Continuing on, that's the breaking news today. As we look to tonight, the Winnipeg Jets are in Las Vegas taking on the Golden Knights in a battle of NHL division leaders tonight. The Jets enter tonight's contest leading both the Central Division and the entire NHL at 18-5. Vegas leads the Pacific Division with 31 points. 3 Canadian NHL teams are on the road with a chance to make a move in that Pacific Division. The second-place Flames, 3 points behind Vegas, heading into a game against Columbus. The fourth-place Vancouver Canucks are 3 points back of Calgary, 2 games in hand. They enter a showdown with Buffalo. And the fifth-place Edmonton Oilers are 1 point back of Vancouver as they face Utah. Now I'm feeling it. Now I'm getting back into the groove. This is all, it's flowing. Just as we talk about the Oilers, I know you don't listen to me, but you also do because you're watching right now. I posted the clip to Twitter this morning of Jason Greger from 1440 Radio Edmonton, Sports 1440, talking about the Oilers. And I just pointed out that the Oilers aren't in a playoff spot at U.S. Thanksgiving. I would think you've all heard the stat by now. 80% of teams that are in a playoff spot at U.S. Thanksgiving will make the playoffs. We posted the clip. Oilers aren't in a playoff spot. And Gregor's like, well, I'm not worried. Guy writes into us from Edmonton, Darren. He's like, nobody's talking about that in Edmonton. Seriously. Why would you even bring that? Because it's fact. And it's sports talk. And we're filling hours. And if you're triggered, what's your problem? The Toronto Raptors finish off a 4-game NBA roadie tonight when they take on the Heat here in Miami. The Raps got their first road win of the season on Wednesday with a 119-93 rout of New Orleans. It's also game 3 of 4 for the Raptors in the NBA Cup. Toronto is 0-2 so far in the in-season tournament. Here's the thing about that. I mentioned it earlier when Moose was on. I considered heading down to Miami to watch the Raptors tonight. I went last year when they were here, and I really enjoyed it. I like going to the Heat games, but we're heading out early on our road trip tomorrow morning, first thing, and I don't want to fight the traffic and all the rest of going down to a Heat game. I'll do it later in the year. Raptors will be back. Next week's show will be coming to you from Nashville. All week we'll explain to you when we're there why. But this NBA Cup, I don't have the interest in digging into what the hell it even is. You get this guy, Rennie, writing in saying, hey, I hope you talk about the Professional Women's Hockey League on Friday. Yeah, that's not going to happen, bro. It's not. So don't hold your breath thinking we're going to sit here and talk about the PWHL. Not today. NHL, CFL, NFL. That's on the menu. And it's like if you walked into McDonald's and said, you know what? I hope you got a pasta dish on. Do you have a pasta dish? No, never have. Go to the Italian place next door. This is what we do. The sports update's brought to you by Landmark Cinemas. In Landmark Cinemas now, Heretic. 2 young missionaries are forced to prove their faith when they knock on the wrong door and are greeted by a diabolical Mr. Reed, played by Hugh Grant, becoming ensnared in his deadly game of cat and mouse. I went to it last week, and well, it didn't scare me. It disturbed me a little. I just don't understand why they got to have all the blood and the spurting. And I think I'm getting old. I think a lot of people would agree on that one. 902-518-3033. Getting old is a gift.
Hell yes.
Mandy writes in from Edmonton, and she says, nice points by Jim Barker. Rod, was there too much vinegar in your Thanksgiving dinner last night? Wishing you, crew, guests, and fans a nice day and weekend. Signed, Mandy. This is I love that Mandy's watching. I did think about her later in the day. There's a string of texts from here yesterday. I haven't been able to tune in for some time. How about Ed Hervey? I haven't been able to tune in for some time. How about Ed Hervey back with Edmonton? Are fans generally happy? What are RP's thoughts? Hello, this is Mandy. Would you please answer my question above regarding Ed Hervey? Let's walk it back for a second. I haven't watched in some time. Here's my question. Answer it now. Yeah, it doesn't work like that, Mandy. No.
How about that?
But thanks. Haven't watched for a long time, but I'm here now, so answer my question now. Kirk in Toronto writes in. He's watching on the Game Plus television network. Hi, Rod. Those poor Miami Dolphins can't win in freezing cold temperatures. They're like the German 6th Army in Stalingrad. Once the Siberian cold sets in, it's all over.
How about that?
Yeah, didn't make that connection, but you do you. That's the thing with the Dolphins, man. What I will say, and I'm going to get into this with Darren next hour, college football is on the side dish menu of this show. We don't talk about it all year, but God knows they talk about it every day around here. College football, they do. But I was listening to 640 Fox Sports South Florida. There was a national show was on. Actually, you know what? I got a break. I'll talk about that when we come back. And more. Viewer Takeover. We'll be right back. Live on Game Plus TV, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, and, of course, podcasting wherever the best podcasts are found.
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
From cash spiels to grand slams, club competitions to world championships, there's a lot to keep up with on the pebbled ice. Stay up to date with the Hardline Curling Show, your weekly source for everything curling, with the latest event results, breaking news, interviews with players, executives, and insiders, plus behind-the-scenes access you won't get anywhere else. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you don't miss a thing.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Mo.
The mustache is calling. Raise funds, save lives. Donate at Movember.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with The Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
It's a mini viewer takeover segment here at my own peril. Got some good stuff, though, from the audience. Mandy's being really nice for Edmonton today, and I appreciate you, Mandy, for the nice words that you said and the well wishes as well. BW from Edmonton writes in and says, Rod, are there any neighbors in the building today? Today there are. Yesterday there were none, so I was ringing the hell out of this bell for all it was worth. I was like the Salvation Army guy on the street corner with the kettle. Not today. There's a gal a couple doors down. She does lashes. Guy right across the hall. I don't really even know what he does. Got a heavy New York accent. I don't know. Stocks, bonds. No, I don't know. Several counselors have offices, like mental health and so forth. There's an accountant guy on the other side of the bathrooms. It's an OCD and anxiety counselor down the hall. She's cool. She's from Montreal. There's a interior design person all on this floor. And then there's Yvonne on the second floor. She's the receptionist, the one that wanted me to help her put up her Christmas decorations today. I didn't have time this morning, and I'm racing out for a haircut this afternoon. So Yvonne, who reminds me of my mom a lot, is going to have to do those on her own. I might stop in there real fast, see if there's anything she can't reach. But other than that, where else are we? John Ohm says the Flames are better than the Oilers today. Moose has some thoughts on the Flames. And although it is Football Friday, I'm wearing Flames colors. Also Chiefs colors today, Kansas City Chiefs colors. Darren's got some interesting stats for those Flames fans, Flames backers. And we have a lot. You know, it's interesting that watch this show in Calgary. 90 seconds. I wish I had more time. I mean, the plan was always to go to Florida. I didn't tell everybody that was my plan. But when I was in Calgary, I was just there building relationships, getting sponsors, doing things. A lot of the media entities there and some of the teams are like, this would work a lot better if you lived here, if you just moved to Calgary. And I was not the kind of guy that would say, oh, you never know, maybe I will. No, I said, that's not the plan. We're doing the show from the casinos here. I'll be back, but I'm not moving here. Thanks. And that's how we got Common Crown and Overtime Hockey Lanes and the various ones, Homestead Collectibles from Red Deer. So we love Calgary. And maybe one day I will live there, but the plan is Florida, and it's worked out great. 902-518-3033. Matt Eberflus fired in Chicago. We got to get Darren's take on that. Laverne and Swift Current writes in. He says, so I watched the Giants and your Cowboys yesterday. Tom Brady color commentating, not supposed to make comments to the team that he partially owns, but it sure seems strategic. Quote, first and goal on the 10-yard line should mean running plays always, unquote. He's making sneaky little comments to help out the Raiders. Your thoughts? We'll get to that right off the top of hour 2. Stick around. We'll be right back.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
IKS Game Day wishes to congratulate the city of Estevan and Affinity Place on their brand new center ice display. This state-of-the-art score clock features 5 LED faces with full motion graphics, scoring integration, and our new Halo mounting system. If it's time for an upgrade, let us show you how to deliver the best fan experience. You can find us at iksgameday.com.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Right now.
Realizing I watched a lot of television with the youngsters back in the day.
How about that?
I'll say it again. That cab driver in Bucharrios, Mexico, when he said, "Señor, your español es mucho bueno." Why is that? I said, Dora the Explorer. That's why I learned so much Spanish.
I got to brush up on my Spanish, though.
Yes, you do. ¿Cómo estás? Una más, por favor.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Rocket and rolling into hour 2 of the RP Show, live across Canada on the Game Plus television network and in 32 U.S. states as well. Somebody wrote in here yesterday and said, what's the newest state? It's actually the state of Indiana. Is the 32nd state that's been added to the Game Plus TV roster. So hello to all the Indianans, if that's what you call yourselves, and make yourself at home. We got plenty to get through. We're streaming live on YouTube as well, on Facebook, and, of course, podcasting wherever the best podcasts are found. Jim Barker was with us last hour. This hour, Takoby Cofield's going to join us, former Washington Redskins, Seattle Seahawk, Oakland Raider, and 4 seasons with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. That's where I got to know him. And most recently with the Edmonton Elks as an assistant coach. He's also coached at East Carolina with the Pirates out there, Bluefield State. He's a coach guy. And I think Moose is back with us here. I was talking about Calgary, and here's what happened, Darren. Before we get to the breaking news, Matt Eberflus fired by the Chicago Bears in the wake of the aftermath of the flood, the clock management scenario, and the Thanksgiving Day loss for the Bears 23-20 at Detroit yesterday. I just want to say this. Darren knows a little bit of this, but not a lot. Takoby and I were with the Saskatchewan Roughriders for 1 year, 2018. And for whatever reason, we clicked. I don't know why. Some you click with some, others you don't. And he called me the other day, and he's like, Rod, are you in Calgary? I'm like, no. He's like, but you were, right? And I'm like, yeah, for a few years. Off and on at the casinos. He goes, well, I got some business stuff coming up in Calgary I'd like to promote on your show. Would you mind if I came on? Sounds like a pretty good idea to me. So Takoby Cofield's going to be with us in the next segment, and maybe he will get into the clock flubbing situation for the Bears last night. Darren, I don't know. I just don't like to see people lose their jobs. So I was disappointed when I saw the Bears fired Matt Eberflus. Yet our friend Mitchell Scruffy Blair tweeting this should have happened last night. That's the shock that it didn't happen last night. Where are you? What do you think about this?
It's really tough because it's a results business, and the Chicago Bears on paper, they got a lot of good athletes. They're a good football team, and they should be winning these games. And this team should probably be a playoff team. So I guess when you're management and you're sitting there thinking, hey, we need to be a playoff team and we're not, and we're making these mistakes, coach has to go. These mistakes can't happen. But here's like, I'm listening to Jim Barker, and that's what I was making sure that clip it's up in our group chat now for you to share of Jim's explanation of it from last hour. But when I look at it, what do you do as a coach? And in that moment, because what he wants to do is the play happens. There's 30, he gets sacked. There's 30 some seconds left, 32 seconds. He wants Caleb Williams to get to the line, get a play off in about 10 to 15 seconds max, get to there, spike it, and reassess. And you should have 15 seconds left, spiked, a timeout, everything's great. He needs Caleb Williams as a young quarterback to get there and do it. So if you call a timeout right away, you're completely protecting your quarterback, sure, but you're not teaching him anything, and he's not growing. So it's like, Caleb, you got to get to the line. I need you to do this. And almost to a point where, hey, if we fail, we're going to fail, but it's better long-term because he's going to learn from this, and the next time he's going to be faster. If you wait and with 10 seconds left, call a timeout and bail him out at the end of it, it's too late. Because you throw a pass inbounds, you don't have a timeout, the game's over anyways. And what do? He's fired now because of it.
It's a wonderful explanation by you. And Takoby Cofield coming up next may have his own thought. But I think we have to remember teams are entitled to run their teams however they want. You're entitled to run your business however you want. You're entitled to run your family however you want. We're all in charge of each other. So Chicago, you do you. I'd love to bring Mark Trestman on, though, because I know he's got thoughts on the Bears. He was fired there. He lives in South Florida now. And maybe Clark, I'll forward you his email. We get Mark on and talk about a variety of things. But it's like, you can't keep blowing people out. And that's just one side of looking at it. I mean, you got a new quarterback there. You got rid of Justin Fields. You pointed the finger at him. Now you're pointing the finger at Eberflus, who's a lot of people are pointing the finger at Caleb Williams, the rookie #1 overall pick. It's just when you're pointing all these fingers, it's not good. Now, having said that, I guess now would be a really good time to get into our NFL Deal or No Deal because you're going to be done here shortly for the day. But let me just say this. The Chargers and the Falcons will meet at Mercedes Stadium Sunday in Atlanta. Jim Harbaugh, first year, Chargers, winning record. Raheem Morris, first year Falcons, winning record. Now, they got Kirk Cousins in Atlanta, I get that. But how did they just waltz right in and get winning records? So that's the other side of what I'm saying about Eberflus. They keep blowing people out in those places too. And these guys happen to have got the results. Do you know what I mean? That's how there's just no one road to this to go down, or else everybody would go down that one road, right?
That's right. There's no one way. There is no handbook on how you do it. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, and you have to know what strings to pull at what time. And for the Bears, they feel like this is the right string to pull. And for Eberflus, too, he felt the timeout was not a string to pull. He needed Caleb to work through that moment and struggle through it to try and get it right to the point that he failed.
Yeah, and if you saw Eberflus's comment on it, he basically said it, not in his or in more words than this, things happen too fast for us. Kind of what he was saying, right? Things happen really fast down there, and we didn't get everything communicated, and they weren't prepared yet. And I just sit here and go, how did Kyle Shanahan get away with not knowing the overtime rules were different in the Super Bowl than they were in the regular season. Yet he got away with that. He wasn't prepared, and he's the head coach. More fun is this comment from Swift Current's Laverne. I thought I told him I would bring you in on this. He goes, so I watched the Giants and the Cowboys yesterday. Tom Brady is not supposed to make comments. What do you say? To the team that he partially owns, but it seems strategic. He quoted Tom Brady. Tom saying at some point in the game, first and goal on the 10-yard line should mean running plays. Says he's making sneaky little comments to help out the Raiders. Nah, Tom's just doing color. But the fact that Laverne would point that out is not abnormal. Like, what did the NFL think they were going to do? I've spent my whole life for a long time dabbling in the gray area and realizing life's about black and white. It should be. This is the law. This is what it says, right? You broke the law. Not that I haven't, but you know what I'm saying. Well, the rule is if he's an owner, he's not allowed to do da-da-da-da-da. But it's Tom. So we're going to look the other way. The fans, Darren, want the letter of the law to be followed. But when it's Tom Brady, you're not going to do that. I guess the word is different rules for different people is what we're dealing with Tom Brady and the Raiders. I feel like quit following him around like the people during COVID that were looking through blinds, counting people in their neighbors' living rooms during COVID and then calling the government. Don't be that Karen, because Tom's going to get away with whatever Tom's going to get away with. What do you think?
I think a lot. A lot. We're a little different on that. I'm a guy who doesn't believe the world is things should be black and white. I'm a believer in intent, and every situation's different. But we have rules for the masses because we just don't have the time and resources to go through every single situation and examine it and make an appropriate decision. If we could, that's what we would do, because every situation is different and the circumstances around it are different and the people are different. But with Tom, I don't think that's the thing. He can't be in the meetings. He can't be in the regular prep meetings, learning the ins and outs. He can't criticize the teams or criticize the officials, but he can predict plays. He watches the game film. He can do that all he wants. And if he wants to share what he thinks they're going to do on the thing, that's his job. But he's not allowed to criticize the officials or the teams. That's what he's not allowed to do.
Yeah, and by the way, Laverne's a cool guy. I'm not calling Laverne a Karen.
No.
I'm not saying he's sitting watching Tom Brady like a hawk to break rules. Maybe it's my advanced age. I think I'm officially 15 years older than you. You will realize at some point, Darren, you can't color outside the lines or you'll have your pee-pee smacked so hard it'll fall off eventually. You know what I mean? It's
no, I know exactly what you mean.
I do want to,
like that's the
understand.
other side of it too.
Yeah.
You have to fall in line. Well, you do have to, you do sometimes have to go along with what the things are. Like, you can't always go and do your own thing. It doesn't always work. It's always about, how and when and where we apply these things.
I go back to that show. You got to watch it, man. Please, if you have time this weekend, Darren, watch Landline. Billy Bob Thornton, John Hamm, Allie Larder, who I forgot about since Varsity Blues. She was the cheerleader in love with the quarter. Yeah, I forgot. I hadn't followed her since the 90s. Whoa, she's back and pretty shiny, as they say in Milestone. It's 1:11 Eastern. Landman. What in the effing hell? I just, anyways, basically, Billy Bob Thornton is this landman, an oil man, similar to what my good friend Mike Lee did for years in Mydale. It could have been filmed between Mydale and Estevan, as I told you this morning, but it's not. It's filmed in Midland, Texas. But it's the same principles. Got the rig pegs. Yeah. You got the illicit substances. It has a big theme in this. And basically, Billy Bob Thornton's daughter was saying to him, Dad, you're so smart. How did you know this? He's talking to his teenage daughter. And he was like.
1:11. Oh, not anymore.
Not anymore. No, my texts come up on my MacBook. I hate that. Serena's telling me that she's running to the chiropractor and picking up steaks for supper. Anyways, his teenage daughter says, Dad, how did you know that was coming? And he goes, because I spent my whole life being wrong. But at least I learned the lesson. Right? Some people don't learn. But if you don't grow, you just get old. Okay. Bill in Regina writes in, the guy that sent the Ron and Don bobblehead. He says, it's a crazy show, Landman. It's crazy, but I feel like it's actually really accurate. Here's the thing in my life. I know the farming shows, not a big deal. I lived it. Yellowstone, I lived it. The hockey shows, Letterkenny, I lived it. Small town, Corner Gas, not funny. I lived it. Last Chance U, all the football movies, I lived it. The oil movie? Never lived that. So, I find it fascinating. I always knew about the rigged pigs, but I didn't know what they did. So imagine having a camera in the truck with the rigged pigs all day. Okay? And then you find out what the higher-ups do, too. You might not want to know. Okay, we got to play Deal or No Deal. I could talk about streaming shows forever. Okay, I give the betting lines. Moose decides whether he takes the deal or not, the bet, and then I agree or disagree. Houston at Jacksonville Sunday. Texans favored by 3.5. Deal or no deal?
Deal.
Yep, me too. Chargers
Easiest
at
one of the
Falcons. Yeah. Chargers at Falcons. Chargers favored by a point. Deal or no deal?
Deal.
Not me. I'm taking the Falcons. Tennessee at Washington. Commanders favored by 5.5. Deal or no deal?
I'll take the deal on that one.
Okay. Arizona at Minnesota. Sneaky great game of the week. Vikings favored by 3.5. Deal or no deal?
No deal.
You like the Vikes? Oh, no, sorry. You like the Cardinals? I'm taking the deal. Colts at Patriots. Indy favored by 2.5.
No deal. Drake May's going to have a good game.
Okay, it's a deal for me, dog. Steelers at Bengals. Cincy favored by 3. Deal or no deal?
No deal.
No deal for me either. Seahawks at Jets. Seattle favored by a point. Deal or no deal?
Deal.
Yep, me too. Rams at Saints. LA favored by 2.5.
Deal?
You got a deal, bro. Me too. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Carolina Panthers. An NFC South battle. Bucks favored by 5.5. Deal or no deal?
Tough one. Panthers played good last week against KC. No, I'll take the deal, though. I'll take the deal.
Me too. Philly at Baltimore. Another sneaky good game. Ravens favored by 3. Deal or no deal?
The game of the week. No deal. Philly wins.
I'm with you. No deal. San Fran at Buffalo. Bills favored by 7. Deal or no deal?
That's, I hate to say embarrassing, that word, but it is for the 49ers. I'll take the deal.
Me too. And lastly, Monday Night Football. Cleveland at Denver. Bo Nix and the Broncos favored by 5.5. Deal or no deal?
No deal. Be closer than that.
I'll take the deal. Should be a doozy. Just on Landman, I really got you hooked, don't I? BW from Edmonton writes in, he says, opening scene of the series is awesome. Jeff the Stampeders fan says, Calgary only sees the clean side of the oil business. Oh, yeah, right. Watch the show.
Hot take.
Yeah, I don't want to be a spoiler, but Billy Bob Thornton could be from Saskatchewan. Crappy little bowler cowboy hat. I told you, Western shirt with the dome buttons and tight Wrangler jeans. Leaning on the wheel of his truck. Holy effing hell. So good. Can't wait to watch the next one.
Oh.
Holy
funny.
effing hell. But he didn't clean it up like I just did. See you, Moose.
Bye.
Takoby Cofield joins us next. NFL, CFL veteran, NCAA CFL coaching veteran. And Takoby, we're going to get you to give us your take on Eberflus getting toasted, too. We got a lot to get to with Takoby next. We'll be right back live here on Game Plus TV. Live streaming on YouTube and Facebook and podcasting wherever the best podcasts are found.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
From cash spiels to Grand Slams, club competitions to world championships, there's a lot to keep up with on the pebbled ice. Stay up to date with the Hardline Curling Show, your weekly source for everything curling, with the latest event results, breaking news, interviews with players, executives, and insiders, plus behind-the-scenes access you won't get anywhere else. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you don't miss a thing.
Sounds like he knows what he's doing a little bit. As long as you're entertained. Aren't you entertained?
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Hour 2 of the RP Show brought to you by Culligan. Clear water, clear choice. Filter out the bad and taste the good. Culligan Water of Regina. Visit CulliganRegina.com. We were talking about the Queen City, this guy, Takoby Cofield, and I earlier this week, and their love for the Rough Riders. No, their infatuation for the Rough Riders. Hey, Takoby, in Saskatchewan and Regina specifically. Welcome to the RP Show, my dude.
Hey, Rod. Nice to see you, man. Long time no see.
Far too long, Takoby. And by the way, the Tarboro, North Carolina product played in the NFL with the Redskins, Seahawks, Raiders, 4 seasons with the Rough Riders, and then into this perilous coaching trade. And Takoby, before we go any further, Matt Eberfluss fired this morning by the Chicago Bears after the clock mismanagement deal at the end of the game Thursday. What was your read on? You've been out on the field in those situations, so what did you think when it was going down?
I've been hurting for Caleb Williams all season. And the reason being is a lot of people forget that nobody really wanted this job. It wasn't like it was a sought after job, and Eberflus actually kind of fell into it. And then, they take Caleb Williams, and it's kind of like, now you got to mentor this young kid. You got to put talent around him. You got to help him grow. You got to help him, manage the situation and grow up in the NFL. And I mean, last night you saw the meltdown, and you could kind of see it at different points during the season. There's some things going on in management that they don't agree with on the field, and it's a mess. So, that meltdown last night was kind of, I figured, I was like, if they don't axe him now, yeah, it's probably done by the end of the season. This isn't going to last.
Okay. Well, I think we all at times have dreamt about owning our own teams in whatever league, in whatever sport. Let me just say that if you were the owner of the Bears, would you have fired Eberflus in this situation? There's a lot of things you'd do differently if you owned the Chicago Bears. I get the sense.
Yeah, a lot of things I would have done differently. I definitely would have went out and got Keenan Allen, a buddy of mine I played high school with. We played an all-star game together. He's actually from Greensboro, North Carolina, so that would have definitely been a move that I'd have made. Good for them, but I feel like this one is gonna hurt the locker room. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of guys that question the moves he made yesterday, and it's questioned a lot of things that have gone on. And when they go out of their way to kind of add vets in that locker room and vets around, and those vets start making questions and asking things, and once you lose the locker room, you lose the team. And so you got to kind of move on and start to get ready for the next season and kind of, like I said, get ready for the future, because Caleb Williams is talented, and they have a lot of young, good talent on that team. You just got to put the right culture together for them.
We're going to get to your situation in a second and the reason you're on, but the NFL's Washington Redskins were the team that gave you your chance first. And I wonder, you must follow them. Like, they're favored by 5.5 at home over Tennessee, and we were fiddling with that line with our picks. Are they for real, or are they not for real, the Commanders? What do you think?
I think that Dan Quinn has learned a lot from his previous head coaching stint. And you can kind of see it with the coaches that he surrounded himself with on his staff. He's got veteran guys that can help him out. I think his time with Pete Carroll was immense to him growing, and the mistakes that he made when he was the head coach of the Falcons, you can see, like I said, he's overcome a lot. I think it was great that he got a talent in Jaden Daniels, because that young man is talented beyond belief. A buddy of mine that I coached with last year, huge LSU fans, Antonio Knox down in Largo, Florida. Believe it or not, he loves Jaden Daniels, huge LSU guy. He kept telling me, he was like, dude, this is the best player in the draft. Best player in the draft, best player in the draft. And sure enough, he's looking like it every week. But I think they're for real. My former O-line coach with the Redskins, actually Bill Callahan, is now the O-line coach in Tennessee. Believe it or not, his son is the head man. So, yeah, they got the whole father-son thing going there. I trust the Commanders, man. I trust their culture. I think Tennessee is building, but I think they still got questions at quarterback, and Will Levis is Ryan Tannehill. I think you just got you got the same thing. You're getting the same type of guy. So, I mean, will he have a good season? He'll do okay, but it's not going to be elite level, and they ain't ready yet. They're not there yet.
As they say, there's a reason why some teams always win and why some teams always lose, and we don't have time to explain that today. Now, Takoby looked me up the other day, and he said, hey, Rod, are you in Calgary? And I'm like, well, I was, but I've settled in Florida now. I'm hoping to get back to Calgary again one day. But you got some stuff going on there in Cowtown and Alberta in general. So, Takoby, let's talk about you and maybe what the last year or two has been like in your life and where it's going.
Mm-hmm. So I'll kind of start year before last and kind of fast forward to now. Yep. So I was coaching college football. I was at the Division I level, and then took a job on the Division II level. Went from East Carolina to Bluefield State. I left Bluefield State and went back to high school, believe it or not. I have a daughter, turns 2 in January. So kind of being away from the family and being away from her was hard. So left, came back. And after I came back to Florida, did a year down there, and then I started, working my company. I actually started this in 17, right before I came into the CFL, training and mentoring kids, just trying to help offensive and defensive linemen grow in whatever area I'm in, offering those services. And it kind of, I actually coached 2 all-star games trying to help guys that are in college integrate into pro football, whatever league they fall in. And believe it or not, Chris Jones saw me walking around coaching, and he just looked at me. He was like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "Dude, I'm working." So me and him had a conversation, and next thing you know, I was on the phone with G. Roy Simon and talking to Steven Sorrells and the rest of the staff. And next thing you know, I'm in Edmonton. So it was a blessing to go. I was actually coaching high school football at Largo High School down there. Great high school, great program. Marcus Pascal gave me an opportunity to go down there and coach. Great guy. But, coming up here, I was the assistant O-line coach with the Elks this past season. I helped coach fullbacks as well. So it was a great year. We had a lot of ups and downs and rode the roller coaster, so to speak. They let Jones go and they changed ownership. Got a lot of things going on here with this organization. So it's been a learning experience, and that's really what I took this year as. But I enjoyed each and every moment of it. I've enjoyed each and every stop. The staff that I worked with here was amazing. Amazing. I can't say enough about guys like Marcus Howell and Jason Shalvers and Marcus Klund and Jarius Jackson. Those guys, G. Roy Simon, those guys, surround yourself with good people and good coaches and people that want to help you grow and learn in this game, that value it. So I took this whole year to soak up a lot, but again, grow as a coach. So I won't be returning back to Edmonton. New staff, like I said, new management. So they let me know I won't be returning back with the new staff. So I'm actually moving my services down to Calgary. I'll be staying down there, and I'll be running my company down there. So trying to help, like I said, offensive and defensive linemen grow and help young men and young women up here integrate themselves into college football.
I'm not sure if you've had time yet, but when we talked the other day, I said, you better be getting Corey Gurley on the line because this is exactly what he's doing. So explain, with a lot of success with his company, Home Field Advantage, another CFL, NFL alum, but maybe just walk it back a little second because we have a lot of viewers in Alberta, and it's a football Friday here right now, so we have a lot of football fans watching. Explain what you're doing for high school athletes, please, on the gridiron.
So, I started out just training offensive and defensive linemen, Rod. Very small, very just, CFL player, off season. You just trying to find something to do to stay active. And what I've turned into is a full service. I take kids as young as 8 years old, and I train them. I'm not a camp. I am a training service. And when I say I look at the young men and young women from a complete human, from a complete totality, I want to, from mind, body, spirit, all phases, I try to be there. So from training you on the field to training you off the field, I run a leadership development course that I do. I try to do with all my young men and young women that come into my company, as well as, like I said, I'm training. And I kind of emphasize the training because I've seen a lot up here. There's a lot more quote unquote camps. Camps, I like to call it flashes in the pan. Your kid comes, they compete, and then they leave. I'm more of I'm going to get to know you. I'm going to get to know your young man or young woman that I'm working with, and I'm going to walk through this entire process with you. So from, grade 9 all the way through senior, if we have to go and play junior ball, I'm in contact with a lot of coaches down south in the NCAA. So they ask me, do I have talent? Do I have young men every year at a multitude of positions? So what I've turned into now is, like I said, for one service I offer is offer an NCAA recruiting seminar where I sit down with parents and kids and I kind of go over that process and what it looks like and what you need to do, as well as, like I said, the training. So coming out here to Alberta, I guess you could say up here, so to speak, leaving Florida. So coming up here to Alberta, it's been a blessing, but like I said, I see the need, I see the want to, I see a lot of young men and young women that want to play this game, that want to grow. And just from being in a CFL, you know, sitting there listening to meetings and listening to the draft and, you know, looking at kids and having to work the draft and things like that, you see that there's a premium on players that have an opportunity to go to the United States and play NCAA football when they get ready to come into the CFL draft. So if your, you know, son or daughter is somebody that wants to do that, why not maximize that opportunity where I can help guide you through that process in each step, telling you, okay, this is the next step. This is what you should be looking for. This is how we should train. I even offer a nutrition piece. I try to be a one-stop shop for parents and athletes.
Well, you know, it's amazing. There's going to be people that are watching this right now going, is there a big enough market for that? Well, I'm going to tell you, get out the way because you don't understand. It's already happening. If you don't know, you don't know. When Joe is from Brooks, Alberta, and he's going to Clemson in South Florida, or a guy from Medicine Hat's playing in the Rose Bowl, you already missed the train. So I think it might be a pretty good thing, Takoby, for them to reach out to you just to start there. And you're not just limiting it to Alberta. You could do it wherever. How can they get a hold of you?
So I have a lot of different ways. If you go into my Instagram, it's _TC3Perform, TC3 Performance. You can email me at tc3perform@gmail.com. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, and everything is going to come up under this TC3 Perform, TC3 Performance. You DM me, you reach out to me, I can get back with you. I usually answer literally within seconds. I try to be quickly responsive because I'm a parent too, I get it. And I'm a teacher by trade. I got my degree to teach, so I get it. There's only so many hours in a day, and young men and young women have to go to class and do all these things. So I try to be responsive. I try to be open. I'm on all social media outlets. Like I said, if you put in my name or you put in TC3 Performance, I'll pop up. You'll see me. You'll see my info. And please reach out to me. Any questions? If you want to work together, I'm literally, like I say, I'm open, and I would love to work with the young men and young women throughout Calgary to come down here and try and improve the quality of football overall.
Just want to read you a message. Mandy from Edmonton's watching. She writes in on the Alaterra Skincare text line, and she says, Takoby sounds like a young Demetrius Maxey in what he says. Well, that's a hell of a compliment if that's the case, our buddy D-Max. And she says, I love that Takoby speaks of females the same as males. What a motivational person. He's a special person. And when I saw you in my DMs the other day, I lit right up and called you right away. Takoby. So if there's anything else we can do, please let us know, and good luck with everything, man.
I appreciate it, Rod, man. And you've always been, I told you, man, good dude, great guy. Always, you know, treating people right, treating people with respect, man. And I always think the world of you. I think you do a great job up here. And again, it goes a long way. And one day I hope to become D-Max. He's a great dude, great coach, great coach, great,
yes, he is.
Great cup winning coach. So great, good for him. I definitely hope to become that.
And an outstanding person as well, for sure. That's the key thing in it all. You ever end up back, well, when you get back here, Sunshine State, which you will, give me a shout. We're in Boca. Thanks, Takoby. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you. I appreciate it, Rod.
Thank you, sir. Takoby Cofield. And you just got the whole rundown of where you can get a hold of him. We'll be back with a sports update. Oh, we got to get Moose back on. We got to do our NHL breakaway bets. We can't get away with this. Sports update, viewer takeover. So we got a lot to get to. We'll be right back here on Game Plus TV, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, and podcasting wherever the best podcasts are found.
From cash spiels to grand slams, club competitions to world championships, there's a lot to keep up with on the pebbled ice. Stay up to date with the Hardline Curling Show, your weekly source for everything curling, with the latest event results, breaking news, interviews with players, executives, and insiders, plus behind-the-scenes access you won't get anywhere else. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you don't miss a thing.
Text 902 518 3 Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902 518 3033.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Sounds like he knows what he's doing a little bit. As long as you're entertained. Aren't you entertained?
Mo.
The moustache is calling. Raise funds, save lives. Donate at Movember.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, everybody. Football Friday continues. And right now, we don't have Moose. That's on me. As you all know, I let him go earlier when his time was up, and then it just dawned on me that we haven't done our breakaway bets yet. But I'm going to tell you the power of the media. Takoby Cofield texted me, said, thanks for the time, appreciate you. I wrote him back and said, I hope he gets some messages, hope he gets some bites. He's like, I already got people DMing me. This personalized training thing is really big business. Hockey, football, you name it. I wish people would write me that fast in the recovery world. But we deal with the things that aren't that important, like mental health recovery and addiction recovery. No big deal. Boring stuff. At Pedersen Recover. Give me a call there or DM. 902-518-3033 is the number to reach us on the Alaterra Skincare text line. And actually, that's the other thing. I appreciate those that have ordered their skincare products from Alaterra. It's a cut above, not your mom's skin cream. And again, if you're too late getting into the game, we don't have time to get you up to speed. Okay, so here's the fun part. And by the way, can you attest, if you've been watching for the whole show today, we've done CFL, NFL, a little college. We're going to do more college and some hockey. I don't want to spoil Darren's surprise. He had a phenomenal stat about the Flames that I don't want to steal. I don't really remember specifically what it was. I'd like him to share that. But it blew his mind as to why the Flames are having the success that they're having. We're just trying to get a hold of Darren because God knows where he went. Furthermore, I do read the news a little bit, and this is all going to tie in. Believe it or not, I do. So I saw today that part of it's because I'm a publisher. Believe it. Hello. Another thing that I do. Publish 3 books, publish a website every day. A group of Canadian news publishers, including the Canadian Press, CBC, Globe and Torstar, they're suing ChatGPT or whoever owns it, because what they're doing is, we talked about ChatGPT. I typed in this morning, type me a sports update for the day. It came out. And the problem is they're just ripping it off from all the trusted news sites that do pay to collect the news. They're just stealing it all and giving it to us for free. Not cool. So this is what they wrote for me. Tell me, and whoever, Bryce, Clark, help me out. Because I don't think it's entirely right. So this is what I wrote from ChatGPT. Good morning, sports fans. Here's what's making headlines in the world of sports today. The Detroit Lions narrowly edged out the Chicago Bears 23-20 to maintain their stellar 11-1 record, solidifying their spot atop the NFC standing. I put in the stumble, not them. Meanwhile, the Green Bay Packers defeated the Miami Dolphins 30-17 in a decisive victory, improving to 9-3. But it didn't involve the game of the day, the Dallas Cowboys. America's team beating the New York Giants 27-20, earning me a chicken sandwich at PDQ Chicken off of my guy Chris from the Bronx. Okay, let's bring, perfect timing. It's a God shot, Moose. I was just telling the gang that I used to ChatGPT to do a sports update. You just jumped in the middle of it. And I want to see if this is true. I don't think it's right. Google at least is rarely wrong.
Right.
ChatGPT AI gets a lot of stuff wrong. So college football, Memphis claimed the AAC title with a 34-24 win over Tulane last night, marking their 10th win of the season. Alabama State cruised past Tuskegee in a dominant 34-6 victory. Now, that's all true. I wanted to get college football earlier, and we ran out of time. But somebody said Tulane losing last night to Memphis ended any chance of the Green Wave, Tulane Green Wave, making the top 12 college football playoff. I have not heard Tulane's name all year associated to, okay, it's not just me. I never thought they had a chance.
I know, but it has come up lately. It's come up in the last couple of weeks because I don't think they had a great start to the year, but they were rolling. And they were kind of a Cinderella story in the last couple of years, getting to a bowl game and doing what they've done and playing really well. And there was an outside shot that if they win what they might get into the college football playoff. And the Green Wave would roll, but they lost last night, and that crushed their season.
Okay, fair. By the way, 902-518-3033. Moose has joined us. We'll be playing NHL breakaway bets shortly, and then we will indeed let him go, and I'll get to your questions and comments the rest of the way. But this morning I was listening. I was tired of the Dolphins talk. I get tired of it. It's all you hear in the media here. So I flipped over to Dan Patrick, and he's not working today. He had Doug Gottlieb in there, and he was talking about how various teams don't even deserve to be in the conversation to have a national championship. He's like, Boise State, come on, SMU, Southern Methodist University, to be national champions. He's like, what are we doing? They don't belong in the category of the Georgias, the Texases, the Miamis. I'm not asking for your opinion on that. What I am is this, and you might not even know, Darren, but in my ChatGPT sports update, listen to this. Lionel Messi delivered a standout performance in Inter Miami's match, reminding fans why he's still one of the best in the world. Meanwhile, Manchester City continued their dominant run in the Premier League with a solid win over Tottenham. Last night, I was at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, and the people at the next table here in Boca Raton had Lionel Inter Miami jerseys on with Messi on the back. They're hard to miss. Pink with the black lettering. And I'm like, I thought their season was over. I thought they got upset by Atlanta in the first round of the playoffs in the MLS. Serena's like, oh, Inter Miami must be playing tonight. Why else would these guys be wearing the gear? Do you have any idea if this is correct or not? Soccer is so weird. It's like they don't have an off season.
I know. I will say this. It might be right. It might be right, especially if they were wearing the jerseys last night. But what kind of makes my antennas go up is not that I'm a Premier League guy and I don't follow and watch. People have to tell me. I randomly said Man City was my team because I like the baby blue, Titans, the rest. And I think Mike Abu-Meshrik had a Man City blue kit, you want to call it, on one day in our studio. Anyways, people have been messaging me because they have not continued their strong play. They've had the most historic dry spell in the last 5 games that they've ever had in their history. They lost like 5 in a row. That's never happened, I don't think, under Pep Guardiola, their manager.
Yeah, well, I'll tell anybody, you better be careful if you're going to use ChatGPT because it's not always right. A. B. Don't get at me with soccer. I'm not. And these various other things. I hope you're talking PWHL on the show. That's not going to happen. We're not going to talk soccer, and we're not. And I said, write me a biography of Rod Pedersen, please. I did ask that, Darren. It said, Rod Pedersen, born in 1963 in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Blah, 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 blah. Nope. Not even close. Not even right decade. Not the right province. No. So be careful if you're using ChatGPT.
Maybe there's a different Rod Pedersen out there.
Yeah, it's not me. It's not me. So I don't want people thinking I'm 10 years older than I actually am, being born in our rival province. That's not a thing. Okay, now we need to go. Fast NHL breakaway bets. It's just so darn much fun. I know that you would have wanted to come back for this, Darren. Rangers at Philadelphia, I think they're playing right now. Who do you like?
I'll take Rangers. I actually don't know what's going on in the game.
Yeah, me either. I'm taking the Rangers too. Chicago at Minnesota. Wild for me.
Ooh, I'll take Chicago.
Okay. Florida at Carolina.
Carolina.
Okay, Panthers for me. Vancouver at Buffalo.
Vancouver.
Me too. New Jersey at Detroit.
Devils.
Me too. Calgary Flames at the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Give me the Flames.
Okay, I'll take Columbus. I'm wrong every time. What was your Flames stat? It's killing me. What was your Flames stat?
It's wild. 20 straight games where they've scored 3 goals or fewer. And they've shot up the standings. They just can't score goals. 3 or fewer, 20 straight games.
All credit to the coach. Tampa Bay at Nashville.
Ooh, Tampa.
I'll take Nashville just because I don't really believe it, but I'll take Islanders at Cap.
Caps.
Me too. LA Kings at Anaheim Ducks.
Kings.
Kings. I will take the Ducks. Seattle at San Jose.
San Jose?
I knew you would. I'll take Seattle. Pittsburgh at Boston.
Ooh, I'll take Pittsburgh.
I'll take Boston. Winnipeg Jets at the Vegas Golden Knights.
Give me the Jets.
You can have them, you rotten bastard. I'm taking Vegas.
How about
Colorado at Dallas.
Avalanche.
I got Dallas. Perfect. And lastly, Edmonton at Utah.
Oilers for me.
Said no one ever. Edmonton at Utah. Yeah, I got the Oilers too. Now we're done. Have a great weekend, Moose. Thanks for popping back on.
You bet. You too.
Check out Landman, Paramount Plus. We'll be right back with Overtime after this on Game Plus TV, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, and of course, podcasting wherever the best podcasts are found.
From cash spiels to Grand Slams, club competitions to world championships, there's a lot to keep up with on the pebbled ice. Stay up to date with the Hardline Curling Show, your weekly source for everything curling, with the latest event results, breaking news, interviews with players, executives, and insiders, plus behind-the-scenes access you won't get anywhere else. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you don't miss a thing.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Sounds like he knows what he's doing a little bit. As long as you're entertained. Aren't you entertained?
Welcome to the Create Space at IKS Media. Meetings, podcasts, studio. Whether you're here to collaborate or educate, our versatile meeting places, workspaces, and studios await. Your next big idea starts here. Make our space your space. The Create Space at IKS.
Hi, my name's Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Raj Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Our reminder, everybody, to transform your audience with powerful presentations from EMJ Marketing's elite speakers. Check out their website for more information at emjmarketing.com. They represent myself, the Moose, Jim Barker, Stu Grimson, a whole lot of guys, Mike Vanderjack. Go check them out at emjmarketing.com. We'd love to come speak to your audience at your event. We're brought to you this segment by Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. Have you been to OT Hockey Lanes yet? To improve your game or just have fun? State-of-the-art equipment, spacious shooting lanes, games for all ages, licensed bar. What literally are they missing? Nothing. And from what I see, they keep adding to it. They're not watching now because they're busy with a player development day today. I'm following what they're doing, and you should too. Overtime Hockey Lanes. Give them a follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And book your lanes today at 28th Street, Northeast, Calgary. Let's get the comments coming in, please. This is the last chance, 902-518-3033. And then I'll be in Nashville next week for the week. You won't really know, though, because I don't think we'll have a Nashville background. But maybe we will. I have no idea. Glenn in Regina writes in. Glenn from Two Ends. He writes in. He says, nothing wrong with being born in the 60s, Roddy. I know but we kind of would like to be correct. I don't know. I was referring to looking myself up on ChatGPT. Born in Winnipeg, Manitoba, 1963. Nope. Not even close. So be careful with ChatGPT is all that I'm saying. Google, far different. What you guys got going on in the streaming over there? Arlen Bruce, how about that? He writes in and says, even though the Edmonton Elks are struggling, I think my son Arlen Bruce IV can help a little. Your thoughts? Well, of course, AB. I've been on that train since forever. And you know what? Maybe with a new commissioner, that will happen. Arlen Bruce's son, the fourth, signing with the Edmonton Elkamos, and then the contract being voided by the commissioner, Randy Ambrosie. And to be honest, I said this about a month ago. I said, if I had a chance to sit down with Randy Ambrosie, there's a lot of things I would ask him. And I did have a chance to actually sit with him at the Grey Cup, but there was a bunch of people around. We were at the same table at the alumni. And I would say he was cool to me. He wasn't rude to me, but he wasn't tripping over himself to talk to me, Randy Ambrosie. But were you really behind Chad Kelly and the 9-game suspension, or was it somebody else? Were you the guy that voided the contract of Arlen Bruce IV because of his betting problems in college? It's best for the CFL to have Arlen Bruce IV playing in it. Whose decisions are these? So we're going to have a new commissioner, and hopefully that commissioner will see fit to have Arlen Bruce IV playing in the league. I'm behind it, AB. Mark K. in Edmonton writes in, he says, Ed Hervey nailed it about the Elks being a laughingstock. We know. Colin in Ottawa writes, and he says, Rod, did you see all the old Canadian media companies are suing ChatGPT for copyright? Did I see it? I just mentioned it 15 minutes ago. I just talked about it. Just before Moose joined us for Breakaway Bets, I talked about the whole exact thing. Yes, I did see it because I follow the news. It's just, I don't know. What am I supposed to do? Take out an ad, have a news conference? I moved to Florida, but I'm still following everything that goes on there because I'm still a Canadian. I pay taxes in Canada, and I work there in the summer. So, yes, I followed it, and I talked about it earlier. Thank you for playing. Thank you, guys. Have a happy U.S. Thanksgiving. Clark, Bryce, the whole gang. Be good, but more importantly, be good to each other. See you Monday. I don't know. This is not an online therapy session whatsoever.